Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're looking at episode 3 of the hashtag #RapindaGreen show,
Okay.
where Wilden Green uses the Monkey app to connect with people all over the world.
Cool.
It's all about him showcasing Grenadian culture and just having a blast while he builds friendships with people.
Yeah, sounds fun.
Wilden's got a huge personality,
I can't wait.
and his life story is even more interesting than you'd expect.
So what's the mission for this deep dive?
Well, we're going to really try to understand Wilden's entrepreneurial spirit and see how he uses a platform like Monkey to achieve his goals.
Awesome. Let's dive in.
Right away, we see his passion for his brand Green's Era. He describes it as a clothing and accessories line that's really rooted in Grenadian culture and Rastafarian lifestyle.
Interesting.
His ambition is to build it into the Gucci of the Caribbean.
Wow, that's ambitious.
He even talks about picturing himself working for Gucci one day.
So he wants to both surpass Gucci and potentially join them.
Yeah, it's a fascinating tension.
Hmm.
What do you think that says about his aspirations?
Well, I think it shows he's got really high aspirations.
Right.
I mean, Gucci is the pinnacle of the fashion world.
Totally.
And for him to even imagine himself at that level speaks volumes about his belief in himself and his brand.
Absolutely. And I think it also reflects a certain level of pragmatism.
Oh, how so?
Well, he's not just focused on building his own empire. He's also open to the possibility of joining forces with an established powerhouse like Gucci.
Right. I think that's a valuable lesson for other entrepreneurs, too.
How so?
To be both ambitious and flexible, open to different paths to success.
That's a great point.
And also to recognize that sometimes collaboration can be just as powerful as competition.
For sure. Now, speaking of the challenges of entrepreneurship, Wilden doesn't shy away from sharing what it's like to be a solo entrepreneur.
Yeah. What's he say about that?
He says he handles everything himself, from the designing to the marketing, even taking card payments.
Whoa. He's a one-man show.
He is. He even mentioned he got his driver's license, specifically to make running his business easier.
That's dedication.
Right? It's a real DIY
Well,
approach, which highlights how resourceful you need to be when you're first building a business.
It's true, but it also makes you wonder if that level of self-reliance is sustainable in the long run.
Exactly. What do you think Wilden could do to build a more scalable operation as his brand grows?
Well, delegation is key.
Hmm.
He can't do everything himself forever.
Right.
As the business grows, he'll need to start building a team, bringing in people with expertise in different areas.
Like marketing or finance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That will free him up to focus on his strengths.
Like the design and creative side of things.
Right. It's all about working smarter, not harder.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now, this entrepreneurial spirit of his seems really tied to his personal journey. He talks about his past as a Razman selling idol food, like these pumpkin corn fritters he calls Dow.
Dow? What's that?
Yeah, it sounds interesting, right?
Yeah.
Before he transitioned to focus on Green's Era.
Interesting. So he went from food to fashion.
He did.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what prompted that shift.
Right. And how did his experiences selling food shape his approach to building his brand?
He doesn't go into a ton of detail about the transition,
Okay.
but you get the sense that it was a natural progression, maybe an evolution of his connection to his roots.
I see.
And speaking of roots, his Rastafarian background is clearly a big part of his identity.
Even though he shaved his head.
Yeah, even though he shaved his head, he calls it a spiritual practice, the science of everlasting life.
Wow. The science of everlasting life. That sounds deep.
Right. He even plans to grow his dreadlocks back after 10 years. This seems pretty significant, don't you think?
Yeah, it suggests that his spirituality is a long-term commitment
Totally.
and that it might even influence his business decisions.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like his brand might be about more than just aesthetics or profit. It
Right.
could be a way of expressing his deeper beliefs and values.
That's an interesting point.
Mhm.
And these beliefs seem deeply connected to his family and upbringing in Grenada.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Well, he talks about his father, a retired police officer who wasn't always supportive of his Rastafarian lifestyle.
Oh, so there was some tension there.
It sounds like it. Especially when Wilden jokes about wanting his father to marry his other baby mothers.
That's a pretty loaded statement.
It is. He gives us a glimpse into his family dynamics, particularly the complex relationship with his father.
Right. It adds a human dimension to his story.
Yeah. It reminds us that entrepreneurs aren't just business entities. They're individuals with personal histories and family ties that shape who they are.
Absolutely.
He's not just a successful entrepreneur, he's a son,
Hmm.
a brother, someone grappling with real-life family dynamics.
Makes you wonder how those dynamics influence his work.
For sure. And speaking of family, his brand, Green's Era, even incorporates his father's surname, Green,
Oh, really?
which speaks to a sense of legacy and connection.
That's interesting.
Right. He could be seen as a way of honoring his heritage.
But it also raises the question of whether he's trying to reconcile with his father through his success.
Right. How does his father perceive his journey and the brand that bears his name?
I guess that's something we don't get a clear answer to in this episode.
Yeah, it's something to think about.
Definitely.
Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about the Monkey app itself.
Okay. Sounds good.
We see Wilden using it in such a versatile way, promoting his YouTube channel, seeking subscribers, even offering a glimpse into his studio and home life.
It's like a digital Swiss army knife
It really is.
for connecting with the world.
Exactly. And it's fascinating to see him interacting with people from all walks of life, the U.S., the Caribbean, even as far as India.
It's amazing how these platforms can connect people from all over.
Right, like a microcosm of globalization happening in real time.
And what stands out to you about how he's using the app to represent his heritage?
Well, he doesn't explicitly say, hey, I'm here to teach you about Grenada, but he weaves it into his interactions organically.
Oh, I see.
Like he might show off a piece of yingri made with local materials or mention a Grenadian dish he enjoys.
That's smart. It's subtle but effective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's piquing people's curiosity and making them want to learn more.
He's making Grenada come alive for them.
Exactly. And he's doing it all with this infectious energy and humor. He's constantly joking, laughing, making the people he connects with feel comfortable.
That's got to be a big part of his appeal.
It is. People are drawn to authenticity and someone who can make them feel good.
Absolutely. It makes you wonder how much of his success on Monkey is due to his personality versus his strategy.
That's a tough one.
It's probably a combination of both, but you can't deny that his personality is a major draw.
Oh, for sure. It's like he's inviting viewers to step into his world and experience Grenada through his eyes.
And what about the glimpse we get of his living space, particularly that tiny fridge?
It was hilarious.
It was. It's this unexpected contrast to his global ambitions.
Right. It makes you wonder how these practical limitations of daily life impact his entrepreneurial journey.
Like, what sacrifices does he make to pursue his dreams?
Yeah. It's a reminder that even those with big dreams and aspirations are still grounded in the realities of everyday life.
And that makes his journey even more relatable.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Not everyone has access to fancy equipment or a huge team. Sometimes it's about making do with what you have and focusing on your passion.
Right. And his story definitely speaks to that.
The power of resourcefulness and staying focused on your goals, even when faced with challenges.
Exactly. Now, he's also very open about his past struggles, particularly his transition from being a ras man with dreadlocks to shaving his head as part of his spiritual practice.
That must have been a significant personal transformation.
Definitely. It makes you wonder how that decision impacted his life, his relationships, even his brand.
And what motivated him to make such a dramatic change.
Right.
He talks about it as a process of purification and a step towards achieving everlasting life. But it's clear it goes deeper than that.
So it's a reminder that even successful entrepreneurs are on their own personal journeys of growth and self-discovery.
Exactly. And these journeys often intersect with their entrepreneurial endeavors, shaping their values, their vision, even the products they create. And in Wilden's case, you can see how his Rastafarian roots, his connection to Grenada, and his spiritual beliefs are all woven into Green's era.
It's not just a clothing brand. It's an extension of who he is.
Exactly. And that's something we'll continue to explore in the next part of our deep dive. We'll delve deeper into his brand's message, his marketing strategies, and the impact of his unique approach.
Can't wait. Picking up where we left off, Wilden's use of Monkey to promote Green's era is pretty strategic.
Yeah, how so?
He doesn't just talk about his products, he creates an experience.
What do you mean?
Like he'll show off a piece of jewelry, explain the symbolism behind it,
Oh, right.
or even demonstrate how he makes them using materials like donkey eye seeds and seashells.
That's cool.
It's almost like a live infomercial.
But way more engaging.
Exactly.
And he's clearly comfortable being in front of the camera.
Yeah, he seems to really enjoy it.
He's got this natural charisma that draws people in.
Yeah, his comfort with live interaction is a huge asset. He's not afraid to engage with the comments section, answer questions, even address criticism head on.
Right. Like he did with that one commenter.
Oh, yeah, what happened there?
Someone called him a chocolate man. And he didn't get offended.
Oh, wow.
They turned it into a joke, saying, you know what, I love chocolate?
Nice.
It was a lighthearted moment.
Yeah, that shows a lot of maturity.
It does.
Yeah.
It shows his ability to handle potentially sensitive situations with grace and humor.
Right. His ability to deflect negativity and maintain a positive vibe is impressive.
It's a valuable skill for anyone building an online presence.
Totally. He's not letting negativity derail his message or his mission.
And what is his mission?
Well, to showcase Grenada and its culture through his brand.
Exactly. He talks about the beaches, the food, even the challenges of living on an island that doesn't have its own currency.
It's interesting how he incorporates those real-life experiences into his brand.
He's not just selling clothes, he's selling a lifestyle, a connection to something bigger.
Right. It's like he's a cultural ambassador using his platform to challenge stereotypes and broaden people's perspectives on Grenada.
And he's doing it all while having a blast. He's constantly joking, laughing, engaging with his audience in a way that feels genuine and unscripted.
Like that bit with the map of Grenada.
Oh, yeah, remember that?
He was explaining what the island looks like.
It was like a mini geography lesson.
Right in the middle of a monkey app session.
His enthusiasm is contagious.
It really is. It's clear he genuinely loves his homeland and is passionate about sharing it with the world.
Absolutely. It makes you think, how can other entrepreneurs incorporate their cultural heritage into their brands?
Right, in a way that feels authentic and engaging.
It's about finding those personal connections, those unique stories that resonate with people.
Exactly. Show, don't tell.
Walden doesn't just say Grenada is beautiful. He shows you the beaches, the landscapes, the people.
He brings it to life. And he also cleverly incorporates elements of Grenadian culture into his brand's visual identity.
Oh yeah, like what?
Remember how we pointed out that the G in his Greens Era logo is facing upwards towards the source?
Symbolizing good over evil.
Exactly, and that the logo itself is shaped like a nutmeg.
Which is a key spice grown in Grenada.
Right. It's those subtle details that add depth and meaning to his brand.
It's like he's saying this is more than just a logo. It's a representation of my values, my beliefs, my heritage.
That level of intentionality is impressive.
It is. It sets him apart.
He's not just slapping a label on a product.
He's creating a whole universe around his brand.
And that's something aspiring entrepreneurs can learn from.
Right.
It's about creating a story, a narrative that goes beyond the product itself.
Connecting with people on an emotional level.
Exactly. Now, he's also not afraid to be vulnerable.
Yeah, like when he talks about his struggles.
Right, his doubts. Even his personal transformation from being a Ross man to shaving his head.
It's that honesty that makes him so relatable.
It humanizes him.
It shows he's not just a successful entrepreneur.
He's someone who's gone through challenges, who's still figuring things out.
And it makes his success feel more attainable, more inspiring.
Absolutely. And he's not afraid to dream big.
Like his goal to defeat Gucci someday.
Right, which might seem audacious.
It does. But it speaks to his ambition.
And his unwavering belief in his brand.
It's a reminder that entrepreneurship is about more than just making money.
It's about making a statement, disrupting the status quo, leaving your mark on the world.
Wilden's not content with being just another clothing brand.
He wants to create something truly unique and impactful.
And he's using Monkey as a springboard to achieve those goals.
It's fascinating to see how he's leveraging the platform to build a community, generate buzz, and connect with potential customers.
It's a prime example of how digital platforms can empower individuals to build businesses and reach audiences that wouldn't have been possible before.
It's leveling the playing field.
Giving entrepreneurs like Wilden a global stage to showcase their talents.
And he's not just using it for marketing and sales.
Right. He's using it to build relationships.
Like when he reached 1,000 subscribers on YouTube,
He was so excited.
he was practically jumping out of his skin.
And he promised to send a big old package to the lucky subscriber who helped him hit the milestone.
That's great.
His genuine gratitude towards his supporters is heartwarming.
It really is. It underscores the importance of community building.
And fostering a sense of reciprocity with your audience.
It's not just a transactional relationship.
It's about building genuine connections.
Exactly. And then there's his personal philosophy,
Oh yeah, he describes himself as a scientist.
studying the science of everlasting life.
He talks about purification, positive frequency, even claims to be getting younger.
It's interesting how his spiritual beliefs are woven into his life and work.
It adds another layer of depth to his persona.
It's clear that his brand isn't just about clothes. It's about a way of life, a philosophy, a connection to something bigger than himself.
And he manages to convey all of this with a sense of humor and playfulness,
Right. He doesn't take himself too seriously.
which makes him even more endearing.
He's not afraid to crack a joke, even at his own expense.
That lightheartedness is essential
It makes him relatable, approachable.
and reminds us that entrepreneurship doesn't have to be all about seriousness and stress.
It can be about fun passion and making a difference in the world while staying true to yourself.
Now that brings up an interesting question.
Mm.
How can you as a listener apply Wielden's approach to your own life?
Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur or just someone looking to connect with others.
It's about finding those authentic connections, those shared interests that ignite your spirit.
Embracing your unique voice, your cultural background, your personal story.
And using it to build something meaningful.
It's about stepping outside your comfort zone, taking risks.
And not being afraid to fail.
And most importantly, it's about remembering to have fun along the way.
That's a message that resonates deeply.
It does, and that's what we'll continue to explore in the final part of our deep dive.
We'll examine the wider implications of Wielden's journey.
And how his story can inspire us to embrace our own entrepreneurial spirit.
And create a more connected and vibrant world. As we wrap up our deep dive into Wielden's story, it's incredible how much he challenges the traditional idea of what it means to be an entrepreneur.
Right. He's definitely not following a blueprint.
Not at all. He's forging his own path.
His approach is so refreshing.
It is.
It's a good reminder that entrepreneurship isn't one size fits all.
Exactly.
It's about finding what works for you, using your strengths, and really embracing what makes you unique.
In Wielden's case, it's not just about selling clothes.
Right. It's about so much more than that.
It's about selling an experience.
A connection to his culture.
And a vision of a more vibrant and interconnected world.
Exactly. And he does it all with such contagious energy.
He really does.
You can feel his authenticity.
Whether he's showing off a new design or sharing a story about Grenada,
Even just cracking a joke with someone,
you can just feel his desire to connect with people.
that authenticity is what makes him so relatable.
And so inspiring.
He's not afraid to be himself,
To show his vulnerabilities.
to let his personality shine through.
And it's a good reminder that people connect with people.
Not just brands.
Especially in a world that can feel so impersonal.
Wielden's approach is like a breath of fresh air.
It really is. It makes you think about the power of personal branding.
And how it can drive success.
Especially in the digital age.
Wielden's brand is more than just a logo or a product line.
It's an extension of who he is.
His values, his heritage, his vision.
And that's a powerful lesson for anyone who wants to make their mark.
Whether it's through entrepreneurship or creative pursuits or just building connections with others.
It's about finding your voice.
Embracing your story.
And sharing it with the world in a way that resonates.
Exactly. Now, Wielden's story also highlights how transformative these digital platforms can be.
Like,
He's using it to connect with people all over the world.
to build a community around his brand.
And to create opportunities that wouldn't have existed just a few years ago.
It's incredible how technology can break down barriers.
Giving individuals a global platform to share their talents and their passions.
And remember how excited he was when he reached 1,000 subscribers?
He was over the moon.
That wasn't about vanity metrics.
It was about the community he was building.
And the people he was impacting.
That sense of community can be hard to find online.
You're right.
But Wielden shows us that it's possible
To build real connections.
to create a tribe of like-minded people who share your values and support your vision.
And, you know, his story is a testament to the fact that you don't need a fancy degree or a ton of money to get started.
You just need passion
A willingness to work hard.
and belief in yourself.
Wielden's resourcefulness, his resilience, his determination are so inspiring.
They remind us that entrepreneurship is a journey.
Not a destination.
It's about constantly learning, adapting, and evolving.
Embracing challenges as opportunities for growth.
Using setbacks as fuel.
And never giving up on your dreams.
So as we end this deep dive, I want you to think about Wielden's story.
What does it mean to you?
What are your passions?
What are your dreams?
How can you use your talents and experiences to make a difference?
Maybe it's starting that business you've always dreamed of.
Or pursuing a creative project.
Or just reaching out to someone you admire.
Whatever it is, remember that you have the power to create your own opportunities.
And to make a positive impact on the world.
Who knows, maybe you'll even defeat Gucci someday.
Until next time, keep diving deep and keep exploring the world around you.